What is up, amigos? Hope you're doing awesome. What is up? It doesn't matter. Have you ever watched a film that starts with a disclaimer thanking all the producers who rejected it? Well, Edagaiye Apaghatakke Karana, a Kannada film, does exactly that. And honestly, that one line tells you everything about the spirit of this film. Playful, self-aware, and quietly rebellious. Now, as a Kannadiga myself, I walked out of the theatre with a smile, not just because I was entertained, but because I felt hopeful that the new age Kannada filmmakers are daring to try something different, that they're trusting fresh ideas, prioritizing storytelling, and giving space to real talent. Edagaiye Apaghatakke Karana is a clear example of that shift. It's an innovative, rooted, and engaging film that may be small in scale, but it's big on ambition and originality. So without giving away any spoilers, here's a little bit about the plot. The story begins on a rather unexpected note. Lohit, played by Diganth, is seen attempting suicide, but just as you're absorbing that intensity, he meets a mysterious stranger. This interaction becomes the framing device of the story, and from there, we're taken back in time to understand how a series of small, bizarre events led him to that moment. It all boils down to one thing: his left hand. Lohit is left-handed, and that simple detail seems to be the root of all his problems. Whether it's using scissors, dealing with public gates, or navigating kitchen accidents, his life is a constant struggle in a world designed for right-handers. What begins as a quirky setup soon evolves into a dark comedy thriller where each seemingly harmless incident escalates into something far more serious. Now, most of the film takes place within one apartment, but the story never feels confined. The narrative is tight, fast-paced, and full of curious turns. It's one of those films where you think you know what's coming next, but then it shifts tone or adds a new twist just when you least expect it. It keeps you hooked without relying on heavy drama or loud spectacle. Another one of film's striking storytelling tools is its fourth wall breaking narration. Just like in Deadpool, Lohit talks directly to the cameras. He jokes, he explains, and he rants. It gives the film a self-aware tone, as I said, much like what we've seen with characters like Deadpool, but here it feels fresh and grounded in a Kannada cinema context. The film also drops an early stat that 7 to 10% of people in the world are actually left-handed, and yet the world mostly ignores their basic convenience. This little nugget becomes the soul of the film. Suddenly, every accident that follows feels like a pattern, like a cosmic joke built into society's design. This direct style of storytelling builds intimacy. Lohit isn't just a character, he becomes a narrator you trust, even when you're unsure what's really going on. It brings humor and energy to the script while also helping us to digest its underlying commentary. Now, visually, the film makes the most of its limited setting. Nearly the entire film plays out in an apartment flat, as I told you, but it never feels dull. The camera work is imaginative, using rotations, reflections, close angles, and spatial tricks to give the scenes movement and depth. But what truly stands out is the editing. There's a rhythm to how the film cuts between scenes, how transitions are timed, and how visual clues are layered. You can feel the editor's hand adding energy, momentum, and sometimes even humor just through how a scene is shaped, and that's something worth celebrating. Because when a film depends on small events in one space to tell a bigger story, these choices become make or break, and here they work beautifully. Now, adding to the film's flavor is its use of regional dialects. You'll hear touches of coastal Karnataka slang and bits of North Karnataka tone and phrasing. These are not exaggerated or thrown in just for laughs. They're simply part of the character's world, and that adds authenticity. Also because the director is from North Karnataka. Now, for a Kannada audience, this mix feels like home. It brings a local texture that makes the comedy more rooted and the characters more believable. It's not just a story set in Karnataka, it feels like Karnataka. Now, talking about performances, Diganth leads the show with a charming and balanced performance. He plays Lohit with a mix of frustration and flair. He doesn't try to be a loud comic hero. Instead, he's quietly funny, vulnerable, and at times surprisingly intense. More like the Ayushmann Khurrana of the social films that he has done in Bollywood. But a big surprise here is Dhanu Harsha. She makes her debut in this film, and you wouldn't know it from her screen presence. She holds her ground effortlessly and adds depth to her character without overplaying it. You can tell she has potential, and hopefully we'll see more of her in future Kannada films. Now, Nidhi Subbaiah, while prominently featured in promotions, actually plays more of a cameo role. Her screen time is brief but impactful. Niru Bandari also plays an interesting extended cameo that adds a layer of intrigue. Now, I won't reveal much of it because that would be considered a spoiler. You need to watch the film to know it. Radhika Narayan and Krishna Hebale play their parts well too, giving credibility to key moments in the plot. The cast overall stays committed to the story without trying to outshine the film itself. But there's one gripe I have here about the climax. Now, I want to say this first in the North Karnataka dialect of the director. ಏನ್ರೀ ಸಮರ್ಥ ಅವರ ಪಟ್ನ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ರಿ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಗೂರ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಯ್ತಲ್ಲ. Let me translate that for people who did not understand the North Karnataka dialect. So the film builds up really well. You're taken on this roller coaster of accidents, misunderstandings, and suspicious events, and then suddenly it all comes together in the final piece. Now, while the resolution does tie everything up and provides answers, it feels a bit rushed. It feels so hasty. The film, which took its time to build curiosity and tone, seems to sprint through the final few minutes. As a result, some emotional depth seems to be lost. You understand the ending, the mystery is explained, but you don't fully feel its weight. The final emotional punch could have been stronger if the film had slowed down and let us sit with the conclusion a little more. There's also a slight shift in tone near the end, moving quickly from light-hearted to serious, which might catch some viewers off guard. It's not a deal breaker, but it does leave you wanting a more polished landing. Now, Edagaiye Apaghatakke Karana is the kind of film that quietly reminds us why experimentation is important in cinema. It doesn't follow any fixed formula. It blends humor, thrills, satire, and commentary in one confined space and still keeps us engaged. More importantly, it proves that you don't need a big budget, grand sets, or loud marketing to tell a story. All you need is a unique idea, honest storytelling, strong execution, and a bit of creative marketing campaign. Director Samarth B Kadkol deserves applause for pulling off such a confident debut. It's not easy to make something this genre blending work, especially with limited space, but he's done it. So yes, it may not be loud or flashy, but it's refreshing. It has personality, it has effort, and most importantly, it has heart. So films like Edagaiye Apaghatakke Karana are a reminder of what Kannada cinema can be: original, experimental, and full of character. And if we want more such stories, we need to support them in theaters, not just wait for OTT. So I strongly encourage you to go watch it in the theaters. Please take a friend, take your partner, take your parents, share the experience, or maybe even go alone like I did. Celebrate regional cinema because it deserves to thrive on the big screen. And if you've already watched it, do let me know in the comments section what you thought of the film. Did you enjoy the concept, the narration, the humor? What is it? Let's talk. And as always, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more such reviews, and share this with anyone who loves good cinema. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, stay awesome, and doesn't matter which hand. Take care and bye-bye.